Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Gamey Daddy channel. Today I wanted to talk about a few things that I feel Assassin's Creed Valhalla needs to have in order to basically appeal to the fans that are coming from Odyssey. Now, from what I'm getting, there is the Origin people who started with Assassin's Creed Origins. Then there's the, Odyssey family, people who started with Odyssey. And then there is, a mix. There's going to be a mixture of them engaging in Valhalla. Now, I played Odyssey first. I went back and I've been playing Origins, but I've had a problem on my computer where I've been having stutters since I installed the latest NVIDIA drivers. Anyone with some technical knowledge, if you can, hook me up in the comment section with what I need to try, I'll try it. Odyssey still functions properly on the computer that I'm playing both of them on, so I don't know what's going on with the game. So I'm kind of stuck on level 6 right now with poor gameplay performance. But nonetheless, they both look like solid games. They have slight changes in the mechanics that made fans of either or kind of go, I don't know, whatever that is, but we can still embrace those things. So if Valhalla is to appeal to its fans, I'm hoping that there are these few things that it can bring. The very first one, to me, I think is a good story. Origins, so far, even from level 1 through level 6, the story already looks like it's a compelling plot. And there are so many reasons that our protagonist is where he is, trying to get to somewhere, an end game and an end goal. To me, this is very impressive. If you're able to make an open world game and still string a narrative through it, even though many people might say open world games seem boring and seem, repetitive and lethargic, if I can pinpoint and follow a continuous and a coherent story, I think your writers have done a good job. And so far, the setup for Origins to me seems already good. Now with Odyssey, I was able to follow the story and I was happy with everything that I actually experienced as I went through it. And the choices that I was able to, that I was presented with, these things all together made a very fun experience for me. So I'm hoping we're able to see a good story in this next Assassin's Creed game, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. That's the first thing that I would like. The second thing is very simple. Humor and a lightheartedness to the characters that you encounter. So one thing about Odyssey, because I've played that in a more in-depth way, was Odyssey was a very funny game. You'd be playing and be getting bored, and then once you go do a side quest, you encounter a character that's just off their cuffs. They are, in some cases, stupid, in some cases, funny, in some cases, overbearing, in some cases, awkward. And these things basically added this weird dynamic where sometimes, you're just like, I just want to get here and get my XP. But once you have the conversation with a character, it kind of calms you down a little bit and you want to play the game. This was, in my opinion, a very good job for the writers to be able to write conversations and write story arches that kind of psychologically, calmed you down in a way that you weren't always in a hurry to get your grind on and, level up and get good weapons and good gear. You just kind of let those things naturally flow. If this new Assassin's Creed game can pull that off, I think it will be a success in its own right. And that's another really huge factor. The characters have to be convincing enough for you to be able to feel like you're investing in them. And there's a very, serious and interesting character arc in Assassin's Creed Odyssey with one of the characters that you start out the game with, and then you experience other parts of the game with, and then eventually there is another end that I will not spoil for you with this character. Many of you know this character that I'm already referring to. And to me, I felt that was really good. You not only met a character and then that was it, you came back to those characters in many cases and did things with them. If like you continue to move objectively through the game to advance your player, advance the cause for good with these set of characters. Odyssey did a very good job with that. And that's what really brought that game together for me. If Assassin's Creed Valhalla can pull this off, I'm telling you, Ubisoft would have gained an Assassin's Creed fan in the new generation. In fact, I think they've already gained one, but if they really want to say, okay, somebody that's going to basically tell people this game is solid, I think that they'll have me on board with something like that. And from the gameplay reveal that we saw, they spoke about some of these things, but we're yet to see them in a bigger picture. So I guess until the game comes out, we won't know. And so that's basically where we stand. And then for me, the third is basically the open world traversal and what that actually entails. Now, I can understand people saying the open world is really boring and all that stuff. Bear with me for a second. I've been playing The Division 2, another Ubisoft game that's built within a specific world where the structures and the landscapes and everything is very familiar to me, having played for about a year. I'm happy to experience another world at this point. Odyssey was nice. I was able to experience ancient Greece, because ancient Greece has a lot of architecture, and the landscape and the vegetation and topography is very nice. Origins to me was set in, in deserty Egypt, okay? And so it was a little difficult for me to be able to kind of get myself immersed in the world. Thankfully, the main character is Bayek, and that was a good way for me to kind of, get into that entire thing. And so looking at the open world and saying, oh, well, definitely this is something that I want to engage in will be a very good draw. And we got a glimpse of the open world in that, whole Assassin's Creed reveal. They have this weird cinematic lighting effect that makes the game kind of look grim and whatever. I think they need to take that away, but that's just my preference. I've mentioned this in another video, but they did show what the open world will look like on like a bright sunny day, where you see the, you see the flora, you see the topography and all that stuff. It's kind of nice to have. Honestly, as a guy, I mean, we're not walking around the field holding and, touching flowers, but it's kind of nice to have those aesthetics. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. And I started this video saying I wanted to share 3 things I feel like I should have, but I guess I underestimated how much that I would like to see, and I guess it's now going to be 4. And the 4th and final thing is the next Assassin's Creed game needs to have a compelling character. So far, I've played only a few hours with the Assassin's Creed character Bayek, and to me, he's a very convincing character. Enjoyed the character like crazy. I played also Assassin's Creed about 40 or almost 50 hours with Alexios, and I think he's a very compelling character as well. And even his twin sister, Cassandra, she is also a compelling character, however you want to look at it, because, you basically play opposite roles depending on where you go. And so they're both tied in the story in a very different way. Now, the weird thing with Valhalla was I was reading and they said you can actually switch Eivor to male and female during the course of the gameplay. So what makes me really scared is we're probably not going to be able to get a compelling character unless the story is compelling enough to be able to pull you with whatever character you're trying to go, the game with. And for people who are probably maybe making videos and, making a lot of these cutscene and movie style deals, I think that's probably going to be fun because they can play a sequence and they can revert back to, not playing the sequence and then use another character, create a duplicate save file or whatever. That would be really cool for them. But when it comes to kind of dragging you and pulling you into the story and the consequences, I think it's going to be very difficult for them to pull this off. But you never know. We need to see what the plot holds. And if the character is compelling, I believe that a lot of people will get behind this game, and it's not going to fall flat on its face. But who knows? It might be a thing where it does fall flat on its face and it doesn't really do as well as people would love for it to do. And I hope that's not the case. Nonetheless, I'll be happy to play it, regardless, but it will be really nice to have that as something that is a good addition to the game. So basically, these are my, 4 little wishes that I feel will be in Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Probably have a lot more, but these basically are central for me. And I'm sure some of them are probably central to some players who are looking forward to this game. So let me hear your thoughts in the comment section. I appreciate you guys' time and audience. Thank you very much for your support, for watching these videos, and for commenting. You guys are the best. If it wasn't for subscribers and you guys supporting my channel, I won't be able to do this. So I appreciate you guys so much. Hopefully we'll see you in another video. Thank you once again.